guys, Amber here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be upholstering an entire chair. That includes the cushions, the arms, and the legs. I got this idea from Interior Define. They have a chair on their website that I absolutely love. It's called the Rowan chair, but it's just a little too big for my space, and it's also a little too pricey for my budget. So we're going to be upholstering a $5 Facebook Marketplace chair instead. And this should be an experience because I've never upholstered legs or arms on a chair. I've only ever done like a bench seat, which is a rectangle, which is pretty easy. So it'll be an adventure. So let's get it started. Here is the Facebook Marketplace chair. I originally wanted something that was almost identical to the Interior Define chair, but the more I searched, I couldn't find exactly what I wanted. And when I came across this chair, I knew right then that this is what I wanted. I love the angles of the chair and how unique it is. And you can see that this chair has already been upholstered, so that made me excited about it as well. I highly recommend purchasing a staple puller if you decide to upholster a chair. I had to use a screwdriver, and then in the end just figured that pulling off the fabric that had already been placed on there was the easiest way. It would have taken me forever otherwise. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start covering the bottom cushion. I'm gonna work, this is the front, so like what you would see if you're staring straight at the cushion. I'm gonna work front and start stapling here. Then I'll go the back and staple here. Front, back, side, side, front, back, side, side. And then when we get to the corners, we'll tackle the corners a little differently. But you want like an inch and a half of material left over, because if I staple here, right, there's a little bit left over that we'll trim later. You could even do a little more than this, but I'm really trying to conserve this fabric because I already think I don't have enough and I'll have to go back and get more. Oops. So let's get stapling. Now, when I got to the corners, I decided just to pull the fabric as tightly as possible. I'm sure there is a way better way to do this, and professional upholsterers are probably cringing at what I did, but I just pulled as tightly as possible so that the corner looked smooth and then stapled as I went. I thought it would be a great idea to use the fabric that I pulled off the back of the chair as a template to cut my fabric, but you'll see in the end that this ended up not working for me, and I changed it up a little bit. Now, there was a groove in the bottom of the back of the chair that you can see here that I'm working the staples into. This is just going to vary chair by chair. I can't say that there's an exact way to do this for every chair because, again, every chair is going to be different, but this has just worked for what worked for me. I wanted to make sure that the front looked the best, so I decided to do the front first and then tackle the back side of the chair.
As you can see, my chair had these pegs and then holes for where the screws were holding the back to the chair. So all I did was cut little holes out of the fabric that were big enough so that the screw or the peg could fit through that and still be placed back in its original position on the chair.
Okay guys, so good news, bad news. Good news, front is done. Bad news, back is not done. So my plan for the back, this piece of fabric isn't gonna be enough, so I'm gonna have to cut another piece of fabric, which is wasteful, but hopefully I can use this for the arms and the legs. But anyway, I'm gonna fold a piece of fabric like this. I'll have to cut some of this excess off. Go right over the back. It's not gonna look perfect. And then hopefully down here and on the sides, I can push it into this crease. Wish me luck. All right guys, so I'm gonna have to run to Home Depot real quick. I have to make a little stop in my progress because I need longer staples for this area since I already have like fabric and staples already being used here. So your girl's headed to Home Depot and then I'll be back. All right, stacked my nails. I was using 1/4 of an inch. Now I got 3/8. So these are a little longer. It's gonna be easier to get through like thicker fabric, especially like now that I'm folding it over. So we're gonna go finish this seat anyway. All right, guys, I finished the back, and honestly, like, really doesn't look too bad. I was a little scared that it was gonna look weird, like I kind of patched it, but I think since I like went around the edge and kind of did like the same amount of space between each staple, it makes it kind of look like normal. All right, guys, so we finished the seat, we finished the back. Now we gotta finish the frame. So again, what I'm gonna do is I want to anyway cover this entire frame in the same material. I hope I have enough of the material. I might have to go back and get more. I should probably check on that. It's out of stock near me, but good news is they have it in places that are kind of like an hour away. So, worst comes to worst, we can go there. Anyway, back to the plan. So, I did get some polyfill extra loft quilt batting. Ding. I'm first gonna apply this all over the chair because for like parts where there's like a lip right here, I thought it would be nice to make it smoother. And this would make the fabric, you know, a little more like squishy instead of hard and like just kind of stuck to the wood of the chair. Also, if this ends up not going well and say I want to take the fabric off, or just let's say I can't get enough of the fabric or something goes wrong, it doesn't look good, I think it'll be easier to pull it off with the fabric being stuck to this and this being hot glued to the chair than it would be to just like staple the fabric to the chair. Speaking of staples, I'm not going to staple anything to the wood because of the fact that it might be coming off if it does not look good in the end. Gotta plan ahead. So I'm gonna be hot gluing and fabric gluing the whole base of the chair. So first things first, I'm going to put the batten on, and then we'll see if we have enough fabric.
So what you see me doing here, guys, is basically just measuring out this batting piece by piece for this chair. This was definitely the easier part of the piece. It did take me the longest because I hadn't done anything like this before. So just cutting out the pieces took me a while. But in the end, I'm super happy that I did this. And I would highly recommend adding batting to your chair as well if you are covering your chair in fabric.
Alright guys, it is day 2 of me working on this chair. The first day I got mostly the 2 cushions done and then the batting around the chair, like you can see right here. And then I put a couple of pieces on of the actual fabric. What I'm doing is hot gluing the fabric to the batting for now until I see the final product and I decide whether I want to keep it that way or not. And then if I like it, I'm going to go back through, tighten it up, and staple it to the chair to make it more permanent. So yeah, let's get to work.
So I decided to start with the shorter legs because they seem the easiest. You can see me here, I am laying the fabric across the top of the leg. I always make sure that I hot glue the top of the leg first because that's the part that's going to be seen the most and I want it to look the smoothest. I would make little cuts where needed so that my fabric would wrap around the leg as I wanted it to, and then I would just hot glue that down to help it stay in place. Something that is very important about this process that I found out, guys, is cutting away the excess fabric. The excess fabric just gets in the way, it causes complications, it makes things look bulky, and you definitely don't need it. So cut it away at small amounts at a time until you get the desired look that you want. So because I did not sew any of this chair, I would fold my fabric to finish off the pieces on the backs of the legs. I always made sure that I folded the fabric in towards the center of the chair so that from the side it would look smooth and you wouldn't see the fold and the crease that I'm creating in order to get this to stick to the batting.
All right guys, I've got one front leg done and I have to say I'm loving the way it looks. But now I'm gonna have to figure out, I left all this extra fabric at the top because I'm trying to figure out how to cover this, which is essentially this little platform on the top of this chair. All these nooks and crannies are just, they're killing me. I think we're gonna have to fold it like a package somehow. And I might have to have like a crease or something in here, like double folded. But the seat goes right here, so hopefully it'll cover it. All right guys, I've got the last 2 legs to go here. I have it turned on its side, but I've already cut out my piece of fabric. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do it the same way I did these legs. So I'm gonna start in the front and have the top wrap over so that from the front it's smooth. And if I do have to do something like this on the top, that's fine on the side. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, work around this crossbar here, and then right here at the top, I'm going to try to do the fold over like I did at the bottom, like this. I've gotten pretty far around the leg and it's looking pretty good. But as you can see in the back here, from my cuts, I have now a gap. I don't love that I'm gonna have to do this, but I don't think I have any other solution other than to take a scrap piece, you know, hot glue it back there and piece it together. So it's a learning process, everybody. Okay, oh my gosh. So I got one of the tops of the chair arms done. Let me show you. Here it is. So what I had to do was take that long piece I was working with, fold it on top, hot glued it down, and then folded it off right here at the back. It's not perfect, guys, but like, I think it looks pretty good overall.
All right, everybody, the chair is done. Let's remember what it looked like before. That's a wrap on this chair makeover, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole video. There was definitely some ups and downs, but in the end, I'm super happy that I decided to do this. Please let me know down below if you have any questions. I will also link everything that I use in the video down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more content. See you guys next time.